When speaking to a student or a client, I often ask them, so how's your breathing? How's your breath? And usually the response that I get is, I never really think about it, or I've never really thought about it. And that is the general population. No one really pays attention to their breath until that one moment when it's being interrupted. So I'd like to remind you, and I remind myself this as well, that we've been given a gift the moment that we've entered this earthly plane, and that gift is breath. It goes beyond comprehension what the breath can do. It carries us during our journey throughout life. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Yoga Simplified Method channel. My name is Desiree and I'm a certified yoga therapist. And today we're going to talk about simple breathing mechanics. So visualize this. Think of a jellyfish, and when you think of a jellyfish, it moves freely through water. It's quite graceful. It expands three-dimensional, right? It's front, back, side to side, up and down when it flows, when it moves. And that's essentially what we want our breath to do, graceful breathing. But not only that, it massages your organs in your thoracic cavity. It sends messages up your central nervous system. So it does a little bit more than inhale and exhale, much more. So yoga teaches many different types of breathing techniques, and I recognize 4 particular ones that I like to call the Fab Four. And the reason why I call them the Fab Four is simply because they are, in my opinion and in perspective, they are the most commonly used in yoga classes. And they're relatively easy to teach to beginners. So the Fab Four, they're quite basic, and one of them, the first one, consists of the 3-part breath, where it's chest, diaphragm, and belly. The second one is alternate nostril breathing. And the third one is the victorious breath. And then the fourth one is the fire breath. And they're not in any particular order, I just threw them out there. They're the 4 that are commonly used. They do have Sanskrit names, and to satiate your interest, I will go ahead and tell you the Sanskrit names. If you happen to forget the Sanskrit names or you couldn't understand me, it's not a big deal. You can always go to Google, or you can reach out to me, and of course I'll let you know the names, but Google is pretty easy. So for the first one, the 3-part breath is called the Dirga breath. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of the benefits, and the possible benefits are, and they're not limited to these are just some that I'm going to throw up there just for the sake of time. Calming the nervous system, relaxing muscles, increasing oxygen to the blood are just a few. The second one, the alternate nostril breathing, is called Nadi Shodhana. So the possible benefits for this one is to balance the left and right side of the brain, the masculine and the feminine. There are other techniques that you can add into this. You can also do suspension and retention and ratio breathing with it, with a guide, or if you have a regular practice. So some of the possible benefits for this one too is to lower stress levels. It may help lower blood pressure. It helps with the nervous system. And again, these are just few. And they can also roll over to different techniques. The Ujjayi breath is the third one. That's the victorious breath, and that's the commonly used breath that is used in like yoga classes. It's usually, it relates to the physical practice. And so that one possibly helps with concentration, with focus, energy enhancing, and then also meditative. It's considered meditative. The fourth one is Kapalabhati, or also skull shining breath. And that one is known to possibly help brain function, along with toning the abs, improving digestion, and respiratory function. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate these techniques in this video, and the reason why I'm not going to demonstrate these techniques in the video is because I don't know you, and I don't know your background. So this is where the intake form and consultation is put into place for yoga therapy. It helps because it allows us to understand that there might be possible contraindications to the breathing techniques that we offer. So some of you may experience anxiety, or possibly any of these techniques, one or any of them, may not work for you at all. Another person could experience something like vertigo, or they have sinus infections, or deviated septum, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, extremely low blood pressure. A person may have a medical condition that would require a written consent from their healthcare provider. And you may or may not be able to be advised to do any of these. So it's important that we find out what the possibilities and the contraindications are, along with the benefits. And there's a reason why I say possibilities, because we as practitioners, we have to kind of scan through our Rolodex of possibilities to offer different suggestions based on the information that we have gathered from you. So one size doesn't fit all. It can fit many, but not all. So it is profoundly important to know that depending on the person, their individual life, their story, their background, that certain breathing techniques, be it yogic, be it the Wim Hof method, be it freediving breathing techniques, any kind of breathing technique out there requires a deep understanding of the mechanics, the benefits, and the contraindications. So I'm personally a certified freediver, so I had to learn a totally different, unique breathing technique, several techniques actually, to be comfortable holding my breath underwater, 30, 40 feet underwater. So you and I are not the same. So what works for me and what brings me clarity and peace may not work for you. And that's okay. What we can do at the very least, and this is just at the very least, is we get to explore. We can explore. So even though I'm not demonstrating these breathing mechanics, the Fab Four that I have enlisted, it means that you can explore, or you can reach out to me and then let me get to know you, let me get to understand you, let me get to understand your background, and then I could suggest my best educated offerings in these breathing mechanics and the techniques for you. So if one technique doesn't work for you, don't subject yourself to any kind of despair. So alternatively, we may be able to explore other techniques where you feel comfortable, and this is where you feel comfortable mentally, physically, and psychologically. So, it's, as they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, or it's about the journey, not about the destination, right? So to recap the four, it is the 3-part breath, the alternate nostril breathing, the victorious breath, and the fire breath. They're all easy, basic, and beginner friendly. And then, you can have some guidance. Feel free to reach out for me some guidance if you want to work one-on-one. All right, so let's take a big deep breath and ride that exhale. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Yoga Simplified Method. And just remember, we're here to posture your life, one move at a time. Om Shanti.